Thoughts are things. Yes, they are. Everything begins as an idea in mind and then becomes a reality. So, Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind wrote, health and sickness are largely externalizations of our dominant mental and spiritual states. He says, thoughts are things. They have the power to objectify themselves. Thought lays hold of causation and forms real substance. Our word is the law of our life, under the one great law of all life. Thoughts of sickness can make us sick, and thoughts of health and perfection can heal us. Thought is the conscious activity of the person thinking and works as we direct through law, and this law may be consciously set in motion. Whew. So what does that mean to us? Well, I want you to consider this past week and how many times you were fearful, how many times you might have judged something someone else said or did, how many times you found it hard to forgive or even to be grateful. Every now and again, we have these little moments where something happens and our mind kind of takes a little dive into the ditch, usually only temporarily, and then pops back out realizing, hey, that's not going to serve me. So the idea of thoughts are things is a really important one. And if we take a look at quantum physics and we look at the fact that, at the base level of all matter, there is simply space, energy. And this energy is just space with a few little specks in it. But somehow when we think, it moves that energy and it takes on a form, still energy, in a different form. So the vibration will change. The vibration will slow down or speed up, and it becomes matter. So when we think about our lives and we think about what we're doing and how we're doing it, we tend to sometimes be a little bit fearful. I'm hearing a lot of fear these days. And when we do our treatment work, because it's so powerful to do this treatment work, and when we do it, if we are buying into the stories of today, the challenges that might be going on in the world around us, if we're focused on those things, we will probably find ourselves feeling a little anxious maybe, or fearful. We might be feeling a little frustrated or angry. So what we want to do is recognize those thoughts when they come, and then check in, not to dismiss what we feel, pardon me, not to dismiss what we feel, but rather to allow what we feel to be expressed through us, not projected, just we allow ourselves to express it, we allow ourselves to feel it, to name the feeling, and then to release it. And as we release that, we create an open door, a space where the good that we seek can come. Okay? But it is our thoughts that are moving things into manifestation. In quantum physics, they noticed that two scientists could be doing the same thing, but depending on who it is, it will change the result. That's kind of fascinating, isn't it? That our thoughts could make it different. That our thoughts could change what's happening or what's going on. Now, it's a simple thing. Change your thinking, change your life. The challenging part for most of us is to change our thinking, because we have been conditioned. We have been told all our lives that we're a good girl or a bad girl, or a good boy or a bad boy, or a good person or a bad person. We've been, getting these messages throughout life. And we've also been, working through different challenges and obstacles. Maybe we had challenging parents, or maybe we work somewhere that's really difficult. All of these places that we find ourselves, we have the ability to remove ourselves from those situations and to begin to create something really lovely and beautiful. But it begins in mind. Thoughts are things. So suppose, get back to talking about treatment. So that's how we're going to heal this. Suppose when you begin to treat, a great surge of fear comes over you and attempts to tell you that you cannot give a good treatment. Well, sometimes you're learning something new and you're trying to do it, and then there's a little thing in the back of your mind going, yeah, you can't do this. So we want to begin to ignore that. But the thing to do is to treat this fear as a suggestion which has no power, and which cannot convince you that you lack the power to heal. So we want to make sure that we're addressing the doubts. We talked a little bit about that last week, the doubts that come up, and there is nothing in me in which can doubt my abilities. So we want to remember that we are free and clear, that we are part of this universe, that we live, move, and have our being in it, and that to turn around and believe that somehow we are less than, or we don't have the power, we want to begin to shift that so we come to understand that the divine is right here. Right here, being me. It is the cells in my body, the activity of my life. It's right here. And we can begin to live with the understanding that I am powerful, that I am intelligent, that I am creative. We can begin to work with this so that we can create the life that we've been dreaming about. So here's where we get caught up. We get caught up because we have an idea, we have an agenda, we have, maybe what our parents told us we should do or think. So we've got all this stuff going on in the background. Some of it we might be aware of, and some of it we may be completely blind to. So what we want to do is take time with our treatments to be very clear. Take time in our meditation. And even when we go to bed at night, we can give our mind a little problem and then wake up with the answer. Yeah, I don't know if you've tried that, but you can do that. It's surprising to me the things that we can do that we are not even aware of, or we hear about on Sunday morning, but we're not quite sure how to do it. It feels a little bit like maybe it's magical thinking or wishful thinking, but the reality is this is very clear and concise thinking. What I focus on will grow and expand. What I focus on will become more. So where is my focus? This is the whole thing, right? Thoughts are things. So if I'm focusing on fear, worry, doubt, if I'm looking at the world going, it's a total mess and nothing's going to fix it. If I look at the people around me as broken and flawed, what I've done is I've created a dynamic energy that is fearful, that is negative, that is destructive. And I have a choice. And my choice could be to go, wait a minute, that's not the world I want to live in. So let me begin to think along new lines. And this is what Ernest Holm talked about, is that we have to begin to think along different lines. He says in the section on psychoanalysis that was on September 25th, he says it may be necessary for the practitioner to diagnose the thought of their patient. In fact, this is one of the main points in healing. This is psychoanalysis, so from psyche or soul. Psychoanalysis is the analysis of the soul or subjective mind. Its teaching is that within the soul or subjective mind, they're one and the same, all the seeds of our thought fall. and that most of our physical troubles are caused by some conflict of the emotions and the will. Okay? The conscious mind desiring certain things which it cannot have sends into the subjective thought opposing desires which conflict with each other and mentally tear or bind. And as they manifest in the body, they can produce disease. It is claimed that 70% of all diseases are the result of suppressed emotions. Suppressed emotions. Suppressed desires. These suppressed emotions cause what are called complexes. So he has an example here from Jesus, pardon me. It is probable that when Jesus forgave the man his sins, he realized that the man had a complex of condemnation within himself. The sense of condemnation which the race holds about itself weighs it down, and it must be removed. It is a feeling that hurts. The thinking person thinks things out, resolves everything into its natural parts, and so avoids complexes. It has been said, life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel. So what we want to do is get a sense of who we really are, begin to really embrace and love that, and then notice our emotional reactions to the things of our life. And as those emotional reactions come up, let's look at them. Let's face them head on. Let's drop our awareness and ask ourselves, what do I need? Not what do I want? What do I need? There is a difference. And our needs may be met by somebody else, but more often than not, they come back to us. We must meet our needs. If we ask someone to support us or to help us and they say no, we need to accept that and realize, okay, this is mine to do. To sit back and really have love and compassion for myself so that I can begin to heal whatever is going on here. So when we go see a practitioner who is going to do spiritual mind treatment for us, what we're doing is we're going to share with them what it is we desire, what it is that we need. Not necessarily what we think is right and perfect, okay? We really want to make sure that what we're doing and how we're doing it is creating something, something positive and productive, something that creates a vibration and an energy that then seeps into the consciousness of everyone around us, because remember, there's only one thing going on and we're all a part of it. And because we're all a part of it, we have the ability to affect others. How are we affecting them? Are we infecting them with negativity or affecting them with positivity like love and kindness, compassion? So when you go to a practitioner, you're telling them some things. You're going to tell them what it is that you're looking for, what you desire. But you're also going to tell them what you hope to feel when that's accomplished. Because the feeling might be super powerful for you. So the practitioner talks to their patient, shows them the law of mind, teaches them the way, diagnoses their thought, points out to them that certain mental attitudes produce certain physical results, teaches them how to be harmonious in their thinking, how to be at peace, to trust and believe in the good, lifts them up mentally and spiritually, and supports their thought until they can stand alone. So the practitioner comes in and does treatment, and the treatment they do is for what the client has asked for, the patient has asked for. When we're talking to them, we may get a sense of where a block might be. So we want to pay attention to our own intuition, what we feel in the moment, and begin to connect with the person in front of us so that we can create something that is truly healing for them. So as a practitioner, we must be filled with the spirit of divine compassion. We must have a deep underlying sense of unity and empathy. Other we would do little good. We cannot have sympathy with the disease or with the situation, the challenge, the problem. We don't look at that. We don't even need to know about it. What we need to know as practitioners is, what do you want or need? And how would it feel emotionally if you had it? How would it feel if you had it? Wow. The mental practitioner treats and deals with thoughts. We don't treat bodies or conditions. We never manipulate nor need to lay our hands on our patients. We do not hypnotize you. We don't care where you are or what the time of day is or what you're doing. The practitioner's work begins and ends within their own consciousness. So if I'm treating for you, I am treating my mind to know your perfection. And that's what I'm doing. I'm allowing room. I'm allowing room for possibility. Now, sometimes when we're doing treatment, there'll be a little voice that goes, yeah, that's not going to happen. Nice try. Good luck with that. So we get this part of us that's going, no, that can't happen. So in that moment, what we would do is a denial step in the treatment, an argument, basically. So what we want to do is remove that negative thinking. So we might say things like, disease has no power here. Negative thinking has no power. Fear, doubt, worry, no power. Within the infinite and absolute, there is only clarity, wisdom, purity. There is a divine knowing. There's a sense of oneness and possibility. There is no pain or doubt or fear here. And we begin to acknowledge that that which we think is happening to us is actually happening through us. And if we shift that conduit so that it becomes something that is more positive and uplifting, what happens is the whole situation is resolved and something new is birthed. And because I'm doing treatment in my mind, you could be in physical pain, you could be upset about things, all sorts of things could be happening in your experience. But for me, in my mind, there is divine perfection. You are, in fact, perfect, whole, and complete. Breathe that idea in. I am perfect, whole, and complete. The way I show up in the world, whether people like it or not, is irrelevant. The way I show up in the world is a reflection of who I believe myself to be. You ever noticed how you meet some people and you put on a happy face even though you're feeling miserable? There's things that we do. You go on a first date and you make sure you sit perfect and you dress perfect and you're trying to be really perfect. And then you wonder why he doesn't call back or she doesn't accept your call. We have to be who we are. We have to begin to see ourselves in a new way, to begin to know that, you know what, I'm created by this absolute, infinite, powerful creator. I must have been created this way for a reason. I don't know what it is. I don't need to know. All I need to know is this is who I am and celebrate that. I can't be anyone else. I am who I am. You are who you are. The minute we can fall in love with who we are and allow ourselves to be fully present in life, excited and delighted about whatever we're doing, the minute we go there, there is a peacefulness that just moves through us, a peacefulness that goes, yes, all is well. All is well right here, right now. And that energy, that idea of all is well, sort of changes everything that's going on. Well, it actually doesn't change anything. What it does is it changes my perception of everything. And what happens when my perception changes? My emotions change. There's a deeper sense of peace and comfort that I may be experiencing with this new perception. So look at your life. Look at the things that you do and the things that you say and the things that you believe. And just check in. Check in and go, now what? What do I need? Who am I? Here's a good question. Who am I? Sit with yourself in the silence for a little bit every day. Just sit with yourself. Observe your thought patterns. Where do they go? What do they do? How do they do it? And then allow yourself to just let it all go. Look at those thoughts. Weigh them out. The ones that have a deep impact, pay attention to them. Allow yourself to look at them closely and go, what about this could be different? Take the time to explore. Take the time to believe in the possibility of your own greatness, because it's there. And because you are unique and special, there's no two alike. There may be similarities, but there are no two alike, and no two people creating exactly the same thing. Similarities, yes. Similarities, yes. So as we move into this week, I invite you to really, really pay attention. Begin to notice that your thoughts are creating your life. Just see places where it becomes obvious. And then ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What speaks to my heart? What is the thing that I love the most? And then allow yourself to begin to live from a brand new perspective as a powerful human being with a loving heart and a clear mind. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Namaste.